My name is Robbie Rhodes, and welcome to this week's edition of Coming to New England. My guest today is Julio Contreras. Thank you for coming today, Julio.
You're welcome.
All right, so let's start it off. When and where were you born?
I was born in Mexico, Oaxaca, but I was born there and then I moved to Guatemala. My mother was from Guatemala, my father was from Mexico.
Okay, so how did your family come to live in Mexico?
Well, it's a long story. My father was a semi-professional soccer player. In the town where he played, it was very close to the border in Guatemala. So that's how they met.
So were there other family members in the area of Mexico? Or
Yeah.
Was most of your family in Guatemala?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
My grandparents and my mom, being the woman, my father decided to move to Guatemala to be closer to my mother's family.
Okay, so did you live in Mexico for much of your life?
I would say about 2 years.
Okay.
Then we moved.
What is your earliest childhood memory?
Well, there's many. I remember we were brought up Catholic, and I remember being an altar boy, of all things, because my views from that time have changed. But anyway, I remember being involved with the church very much.
Okay. Describe the personalities of your family members.
Well, we are very close. That's one of the upbringings about being Latino. You are a very close-knit family, and mostly we all more or less the same. We're very punctual. We dedicated to whatever the cause, whether it's sports, whether it's school, whether it's your relatives. We're very close-knit about that.
What was your favorite thing to do for fun? Like movies, beach, when you were a kid?
When I was a kid? One of the things I remember is being involved, as I said, I was involved, because I have a couple of siblings as well. We were involved with the church, and one of the things I enjoyed two things growing up. One was playing sports, soccer, and one was singing in the choir. So that's what I did when growing up.
What was school like for you as a child? What were your best and worst subjects?
I think that I had a great time in my early years. I saw it as having a lot of fun. I always did my homework because it was a challenge. So I wanted to be the best student I could be. And when someone tells you what we were talking about when we were younger, if my brother wanted to do a better drawing, I will try to outdo him. And I was a little older, so my drawings were a little better.
Do you remember any prominent fads from your youth?
Excuse me?
Any fads that stuck out, popular hairstyles or clothes?
What year are you talking about?
From your youth.
Youth, well, because if you're talking about when I was a teenager.
Yeah, sure, teenager.
There was a disco era.
Yeah?
High heels for guys, boots and things like that. Your hair always nice and trim, and always dress up to go nightclubbing.
Nice. Who are your childhood heroes growing up?
Like I said, I've always been interested in the music industry. So I would say that growing up, I enjoyed the Latin American performers like Rafael, Sandro. And when I came to this country, when I was 12, I started listening to, at the time was 1970, so I started listening to, the Partridge Family.
So, what were your favorite songs and music growing up?
It's a mix because I grew up with a single parent, my mom, and she used to listen to music a lot. And of course, she wasn't listening to rock and roll, so she was listening to Dean Martin, Johnny Mathis, a variety of crooners. So in reality, I started listening to them before I listened to rock and roll and pop. So I think that I grew up with the romantic type of music, the classics. Elvis Presley here and there, but and Frank Sinatra and all those crooners.
Who was the oldest relative of your family that you remember as a child? What do you remember about them?
My grandmother. My grandmother lived to be almost 100.
Oh, wow.
So when I was a young kid, she was always there. And that's one of the main reasons why we moved from Mexico to Guatemala, because my mom wanted to be close to my grandmother and grandfather. But, my grandfather passed away, and then it was just my grandmother and a couple of uncles.
Okay. What do you know about your family's surname?
It's Mayan surname is Chihuil, and I'm a product of what is called a mestizo, Indian and Spanish. So my last name is Contreras, which is Spanish, and Chihuil is the Indian name.
Interesting. So, flash forward a few years. When and how did you meet your spouse?
Oh, you really want to hear that?
I'll just. Okay. Well, what did you guys do on dates? We'll flash forward to the next question.
Okay. First of all, my wife is an artist, and at the time when I met her, I had just graduated from college. I got a bachelor's degree, and I had played sports, and I just happened to be the coach of the women's soccer team, and we met that way. And of course, once we got involved, I had to resign my position as a coach because she was one of my players. Dirty old man that I was, huh?
Where and when did you guys get married?
We got married in Providence, Rhode Island in 1984.
Okay.
And we've been together since.
What memory stands out the most from your wedding day?
Believe it or not, one of my brother-in-laws had a kidney problem, and he couldn't go to our wedding. So we were all thinking about him being in the hospital. So what we decided at the spur of a moment was, after we were dancing, say, why don't we go visit Stephen at the hospital? And that's what we were all there. We were like 50 of us at his bedside. And that's what I remember. There were other things to remember, but that's one of the things that I really remember.
So how would you describe your spouse? What do you admire most about her?
Her artistic ability. She's an art teacher in the Providence public school system. She's been teaching there for 30 years. And I think she's very, very artistic. And that's one of the attractions, because I tend to be a little artistic myself.
Now, what is your profession, and how did you choose it?
I've been involved, as I told you, in sports and music for many years since I was a little kid. And that led me to, the performance side of it. And because of that, I noticed the lights, the microphones, the cameras. And that led in high school for me to get involved with the theater, and that led me to communications when undergraduate, and that led me to my master's degree in industrial technology, and it's all been technology since I was very young.
If you could have any other profession, what would it be? And why wasn't it your first choice?
Well, going back to your original question, I noticed, when we came to this country, one of the main reasons why we came is because we wanted education and we wanted the American life, which is a capitalist type of society. So I wanted a house and I wanted all the good things in life. And I also realized when I was younger that the arts, I don't want to get in trouble, but the arts really don't pay off in a sense that you don't, you could be the greatest artist, but if people don't buy your art, you're going to starve. So what's the next best thing is get involved with something that's going to pay off. So my career in technology, I knew that I can do camera work, I can do audio, I can do film and things like that. But I really wanted to perform.
Well, it is performing in a way, I guess. There's
Yeah,
art setting up technology.
It pays the bills all this year, so I'm happy with it. Happy with my choice.
Of all the things you learned from your parents, which do you feel was the most valuable?
Definitely punctuality, responsibility, accountability, all these things. Without those things, I don't think you can accomplish much. And that's what I learned from my mom.
And from all your accomplishments, which ones are you most proud of?
I think I'm the type of person who, once I decide to do something, I think I can accomplish almost anything. And that drive that was installed in me years ago, I still have it.
So how is the world different today from what it was like when you were a child?
Whoa. I think it's the best of times and the worst of times. The reason I say that is because from a technological point of view, God, you guys, I remember, reading in the comic books, Dick Tracy, for example. It sounds like a cliche, but it is true. I mean, we were just thinking, what would it be to have a watch that can talk to you or can tell you all this, weather and things like that. And then in the 70s, we had the wireless phones in the cars. If you had one of those, you were, at the edge of technology, and they were huge, but they were also very expensive. And computers, and I suffer a lot of sleepless nights typing papers because of all the mistakes typing, and you had to erase it. And with the computer, Word Perfect. You can just fix your grammatical mistakes or spelling mistakes on the fly. That's exciting, and it eliminates a lot of time. The internet, the wireless cell phones. The wireless cell phone, the cell phones. All these technologies, yes. But that's the positive. What I, from my point of view, the negative is that, especially young people have lost the social skills, I think. Before, when you were, for example, if you were sitting at the bus station, which I didn't have a car, so I had to take, whenever I took the bus system, if you were sitting at the bus station, to pass the time, you would talk to the person, and you would talk about almost anything, sports, fashion, whatever. And with the new technologies, there's no interactivity, you know. That's and social skills are lacking, and I think that's a negative.
What world events had the most impact on you while you were growing up? Did any of them personally affect your family?
Let's see. There was once, I remember when I was very, very young, there was this small earthquake, and it knocked a couple of buildings. And I remember this. I was probably 5 or so, and I remember being so scared, that I was very upset, scared. But I also, for some reason, I wonder how can this happen in this perfect world? You know, everything was great. You know, I was playing with my friends, and my mother was working, and we had food on the table and so forth. And then this earthquake happens, and it really shook me. No pun intended.
Literally.
Literally. Yeah, and yeah, that changed because I started thinking about different things. That one of the buildings hit was the church, and I'm saying, how can this happen to the church where God lives? You know. So I started thinking about it that way, and my point of view about religion changed very early. So
after growing up in this country for so many years, how would you define the American dream?
Oh, God, what a country, for me anyway. Again, it has to do with wanting something really bad, want to accomplish something that you really have to pay attention because it's not easy. You have to work for it. But if you're willing to work, I think that your dreams, your goals can be achieved.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in today. That wraps it up for this edition of Coming to New England. Thank you, Julio, for coming in. That's all we have today.